episode 137, gracefully and frankly on the cusp of a long weekend. And we'll talk a little bit later on about all the names for this weekend. But mostly it's been, oh, thank God the heat is over for Lisa. Anyway, I'm Erin Davis.
I'm Lisa Brandt. Yes, we made it through another heat alert, and it was wicked. I know everybody says, well, not everybody says, but a lot of people say, at least you don't have to shovel it.
Right.
I'd take a little snowfall right now. I know, bite your tongue, Lisa, just to cool us off. Yeah, it's been really stinking hot.
Wow, so you were out the other day. What were you doing? Handing out hamburgers on the beach or something? Is this some new side hustle of yours, or what's
That's
going
right.
on? You selling beads and ganja next?
You know how I love the heat.
Yeah.
I just could not wait to get my little cart out there, which I cycle. No, I'm totally kidding. No, it was one of the outings that the Extendicare residents go on or have a choice to go on. And as a volunteer, I offered to go and help. So it was about, I'd say, a dozen people in wheelchairs, others who were, who can walk and stuff. But, it's all organized by Extendicare. I basically just show up and run little errands and take somebody outside if they want to go or whatever. But it's really neat just to see how a change of scenery and getting this special meal is such a big deal. Like, it's the only time they're going to get onion rings and hot dogs and all that kind of thing, because that's not what they're serving for healthy meals. So, I could imagine there were some tummy aches and some uncomfortable naps afterwards, but pretty happy people. It was really just a joy to see the simple things we take for granted being such a big deal for other people who depend on others to get around. It's cool. I love it.
Can I tell you, your flowers were lovely? Thank you.
Oh, good.
Thank you for sending me a bouquet last week.
Oh, you're very welcome. I didn't know what else to do. What can you do?
Yeah, really. Lisa said, is there a charity or something I could donate in memory of your dad? And I said, yeah, bring him back from the dead and donate to the Liberal Party of Canada.
Yeah, that wouldn't go over well, would it?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, there's been a bit of a wrinkle in the whole legal process.
Oh, no.
Following Dad's passing just over a week ago at 92, peacefully. You know that there are 4 of us girls, our sisters, and of the coven, number 2, Cindy, was chosen to be executor, which was a great choice. Until it wasn't, because after all the work she's done after all these years, getting his phone service canceled when he moved out of his other residence and all of the legal paperwork and BS that someone who is in charge of an estate has to carry out. Well, we found out she can't legally be executor.
I only have one guess as to why.
Go ahead.
She lives in Mexico?
Ding, 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 ding.
Oh, I did not know that. I had no idea. Wow.
Yeah, there would be so many loopholes and stuff. So the honor/obligation goes to Dad's kid brother, who's 19 years his junior. Poor Vern. I'm sure he's been executor for all his siblings now because he was kind of a surprise baby. So I wonder how many kids in families who found themselves coming much, much later get to be honored/saddled with being executor of estates.
Wow.
Gosh. But anyway, it's all going to work out. Cindy did all the legwork and Vern just has to dot I's, cross T's.
Right. Vern it's like Cindy did the whole long drive and Vern just parks it in the driveway. So, yeah.
Exactly. So last week when we dropped episode 136, that was the day I was getting my second eye operated on, and You're talking to somebody with 2 new cataract-free eyes, just like you.
Yes, we are both seeing clearly now. Yes, so how's it going?
Well, the biggest wrinkle in all of this, besides being able to see my own, thanks a lot, I liked me with the filters on, thanks, is trying to find that sweet spot for focus and the right glasses now. We popped a lens out of one of my transitional, whatever those glasses are that have 3 or 4 different focal points in them. Popped one out and I was seeing like Mr. Magoo because it doesn't work. You see double. Then my readers didn't work and I ended up going to the dollar store buying a $5 pair of readers, which I quite like, and they have saved the day.
Wow. How did you find $5 readers at a dollar store?
Well, I bought 5 of them. No. We know nothing's $1 at the dollar store anymore.
The dollar store where I live, they're $1, but they also break after half an hour. So,
Oh, okay.
well, that's interesting. Now, having had both of them done separately, would you recommend that? Or would you go the way I went and have them both done at once? Because we got into a discussion about this with some friends on the weekend, and everybody's kind of split on it. The one woman who had it done under OHIP, of course, she couldn't get the second eye done because it didn't have a cataract. She had to wait 5 years for the second eye.
Yeah, that's a pain.
Yeah.
Trying to find that right prescription and how to read. I was supposed to have to wait a month. Ended up waiting 2 weeks because I wrote to them and I said, please, 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 I'm having so much trouble editing sound waves and writing and reading and all the things I need to do for a living. So my whining worked.
Yay.
And I think I would be like you and have them both done simultaneously.
Yeah, it was a bummer for a couple of days, but then when they started to really come around, it was pretty cool.
I keep thinking about the depression that you sank into when you couldn't see for that period of time and wondered why and if it would affect me too. I guess that situation of not having your eyesight, even for a short time, can hit people differently.
Yeah, I think so. And I was fully aware of what I was getting into. I thought I was ready for not being able to see properly for a couple of days. And we've talked about this before. Some people walk out seeing perfectly fine. I didn't. And it was a couple of days before it improved. Yeah, I don't think you can predict it. Even though I knew what was coming, it was just so like I couldn't do anything. It really was a bummer. And that may just be my personality, you know?
Yeah. But what I keep thinking about, Lisa, is how our great-grandmothers and grandfathers just went blind.
Yeah.
That's the way it was.
Yeah.
And I know I had a great-grandmother who was known for pounding out the gospel tunes on the piano blind. I just play like I am. But she would do that, and I thought, I wonder if it was cataracts. So many miracles, just so much to be so grateful for in the 21st century.
And now it's one of the most done operations the world over. I mean, thousands and thousands and thousands are done every day in so many countries. And you think, oh, my eye, I don't want anybody touching my eye. And the surgeons are like, yeah, whatever, just another pair. I suppose like a testicle surgeon or something. But anyway.
Just another pair.
Can you be a testicle surgeon? Sorry.
Of course there are. Rob had a vasectomy reversed. There are those kind of surgeons. Right. But I have to tell you, on Netflix, have you started watching Critical?
No.
New York Times did a thing on it a couple days ago, and I thought, we discovered it before you did. It is a documentary of about 6 episodes on the NHS, the British healthcare system, focusing on London trauma hospitals. I'm telling you, Lisa, they take the moment that a call is made that someone has been hit, or mostly motorcycle accidents, believe it or not. But another guy walked through a pane of glass and a few other things that happen. I won't tell too much, but they take it from the moment of the emergency call. They get it from the first responders' mouths, what's happening and how they handled it. And from the site of the accident, there's not that much gore. You're not subjected to that. But then they take you into the ER and where the decisions are made and the doctors who are involved and their own stories. It is the most graphic medical show you'll ever watch, but also so engaging.
How does it match for intensity with The Pit, the non-real but very realistic emergency room show?
Absolutely stitch for stitch the same.
Okay.
And I don't know if it's because you know that this is actually real. It is intense, and you will see skin flaps, and you will see incisions, and you will see stitches, and you will see organs being moved around and stuff. So there's a lot of looking through your fingers, but it's so incredible that if you get a chance, you will, and I'll tell you, you'll never let anyone you love ride a motorcycle again. So Derek's not going to let you watch it. I will tell you that.
We won't be watching it anyway because The Pit was way too much for us. And I think it's just what we look for from our television time. We just look for a happy little fun escape. Like we watched the Happy Gilmore 2 movie. And
Oh, how was it?
it was cute, but there's a couple things that happen that you kind of go, huh? But it was an homage to the first one, and people got to come back and right their wrongs. And it's a cameo city as far as famous people go. And it was cute. And of course, his daughters and wife were in it.
Okay.
But it was worth seeing. And I said to Derek, I'll bet you anything that when he signed his multi-movie deal with Netflix, he said, I'm going to give you guys Happy Gilmore too. But first, let me make all these other crummy movies that I want to make. Because he's turned out a bunch of stuff. And then this one. So if you like the first one, definitely watch it.
Okay. Do you think there'll be a pickleball movie?
I don't know.
I bet there would be. You know, something with Will Ferrell or something. I don't know.
Yeah, why not? I mean, it's so popular and it's just growing and growing.
Have you ever played pickleball?
I have not played pickleball, but when Matthew Perry died after having come home from playing pickleball,
Right.
I seriously looked into how intense this sport was. Of course, we now know a lot more about what happened then. But I looked into it, and we talked about signing up at a new place in St. Thomas. And I'm pretty quick on the draw. By the time we even thought about it, they were full.
Wow.
So we haven't played. Have you?
No, my mom played when she would winter down in California. She was playing it, but I couldn't get past how silly the name was. And it has become this decade's fastest growing sport. They're talking about maybe the IOC considering it for a future Olympic event, if you
Wow.
can imagine.
I did not know that.
Number of participating players has reportedly increased more than 300% in recent years, most of them in St. Thomas, so you couldn't get in.
Well, that explains it.
Yep, there you go. But haven't you wondered where the name came from?
Yes, I have.
So it was invented by a guy in Washington State who was a state representative, and apparently the kids were bored or something, and he said, here, let's make something up just with some junk in the garage. And they used an old badminton court to play in, and they found a wiffle ball, which is just kind of a perforated plastic baseball to hit. Paddles were ping pong paddles, of course. And then they drew up this kind of makeshift set of rules, and they invented it. They didn't quite have a name for it back in 1965 when they did this. Now, some people think it was named after their dog, Pickles, but Pickles didn't come until after the game was invented. So there used to be in rowing a boat full of players who weren't good enough for the other teams, and they were called the pickle boat. Meaning, you know, when you pickle something, you're just throwing in odds and ends and you pickle it. And so they would call it the pickle boat. But there's also a little dish that your grandmother probably served gherkins at Thanksgiving.
Oh, totally.
Called the pickle boat. So pickleball was named after the pickle boat because supposedly it was all just bits and pieces of equipment that didn't belong anywhere else. That's the origins of pickleball. Has nothing to do with actual pickles.
Wow, I had no idea.
I know. Neither did I. And that's the kind of stuff you learn on this show.
Now I want a pickle.
As long as you don't wash it down with milk. But here you are sending me this incredible story that you have found about milk in the summer. And you know who doesn't agree with that?
Oh, would that be Anchorman?
Yes.
It's so damn hot. Milk was a bad choice.
Yeah, so tell us why he's wrong. Why is the right choice?
It was a study done out of Scotland, and they looked at all the different beverages as to what offers the most hydration, the best hydration, longest lasting. Of course, we're always being told to drink so much water that you live in the bathroom. I was actually told that by a doctor.
Oh, jeez.
Carry around your big stupid cup and make sure you're constantly drinking water. Well, it turns out that they analyzed the fluid retention levels in the hours after drinking these beverages, and milk scored higher than water. I never would have guessed that in a million years. They said that milk contains natural sugars, proteins, and fats. They slow the emptying of the stomach, helping the body retain fluids longer. I don't think that this is going to catch on to where you're bringing a milk bottle with you all the time, but you do see those milk protein sports drinks.
Yes.
I've seen those in the stores and stuff. And maybe there's actually something to it.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
Science doesn't send us astray very often.
No, although it will sometimes cancel itself out when we learn new stuff.
Exactly. And that's why we evolve, is because we go, okay, that wasn't true, but this is. And it doesn't mean that we were lied to. It just means they learned more.
Right. So if you have lactose intolerance or something like that, they say try soy or oat milk, but they don't really know for sure if that's got the retention that cow's milk has. I mean, make a cow proud, I would think.
Well, sure. And a Scot. Yeah. My goodness, aren't we proud of the Scots? And that bagpiper who actually drowned out a bloviating windbag of his own the other day when Trump was in Scotland. That was hilarious.
And if it's not Scottish, it's crap.
It's crap.
That's the other one.
That's right, yeah. So is this scientific, putting stuff in your fridge or freezer to try and cool it? Remember Marilyn Monroe very famously said she put her undies in the icebox, which to me is redundant because that's where I wear them. But anyway, so...
Envy Pillow says so. Envy Pillow actually put out an email this week saying if you were too hot, you can put your Envy Pillow in the fridge for up to 3 hours. And if you go to sleep on it, and if you have a fan, it will last even longer. But it can give you as much as 60 minutes of cooling. But don't put it in the freezer. Don't let it freeze because that will destroy it. Just cool it down. And I thought that was a great idea because it doesn't matter if you have a fan or air conditioning. Sometimes it's just hot, right?
Yeah, and people talk and sing about, you're the cool side of my pillow.
Yeah.
Okay, so first off, we have to clean the shelves in the fridge, and then you just slide your Envy Pillow in there. And you said for 3 hours?
Yeah, up to 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours, they suggest. And it should give you up to an hour of being cool. And Kathy and Kim say if you direct a fan to it, it will stay cool even longer.
That's a really neat idea because
I thought so.
I wonder, too, if it's one of these things that people have been doing for the last century. Haven't you been thinking in this heat, as I have about people who had cataracts 100 years ago, but in this heat, how did people survive, Lisa?
Well, for one thing, it wasn't as hot, I don't think, right? The Earth is getting hotter, but it still got hot.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess they just fanned themselves and had fainting spells.
A lot.
That's where the fainting couch came in. There you go.
Probably. Hey, no matter what you do with your Envy Pillow, just make sure you get one and go to ENVY pillow.com. Check out their pillows, their sheets, everything that they've got to offer you. And if you use the code GF, you'll get 10% off. Lisa, I'm doing something starting tomorrow I have not done in 40 years.
Okay.
I'm terrified. I'm excited. Mostly I'm terrified. I am going camping.
All right. So you're going in a hotel that's only 3-star or?
No, you have to wait 2 rings for room service. No. Okay, here's the story. This is the day that I'm flying into Kelowna, and it was going to be to surprise my sister on a very special anniversary date for her. But then when Dad passed, I let them know, hey, I've already got my flight booked, so you take care of things in Kelowna there, and I'll be in next week, which is today. So I was going to surprise her on the day of this anniversary celebration for her. And then I was thinking, well, I can't really get a reasonable hotel room for 4 nights. I want to take Leslie away a little bit. So she's been camping in an actual tent on the ground with air mattresses the last couple weekends. And I thought, I'll kind of go along with that. And I booked a place. It was their last spot because it was higher priced, because it's in a yurt, which is a canvas sort of a roundish tent.
Yes.
In a place with no Wi-Fi.
What?
And no electricity.
What?
I know.
Where do you go to the bathroom?
Well, Leslie has been using a cup in the tent.
Are you joking?
I'm not, but I will either resort to that. I've asked her to bring something a little nicer, or we will go to the outdoor facilities that are nearby, which I think I can do. But, I drink water up till about 11 at night and then wonder why I get up in the night. So there's that.
Aaron Dawn Davis, I'm a little worried about this. I mean, the yurt, I've always wanted to stay in a yurt, and yurts can be really nice and listen to the timbre of your voice.
Yeah, it's in a place called Sicamous, Sicamous, if you hear about a search. Yeah, Lisa, my Apple Watch, if I don't have it on and it's not counting steps, am I still alive?
Yes, you are. And I predict that you will have an uncomfortable entry into this and be looking for stuff that's not working or not connected. And then you'll get into time with your sister and maybe exploring or whatever. I think we can go back and revisit the simpler times when the phone was only on the wall, and if you were outside, you didn't have a phone. Remember that?
Well, yeah. I mean, the last time I camped was in the early 1980s, and we sure as heck didn't have cell phones, and I wasn't worried about keeping up my Wordle score every day. And okay, so I'm not taking my travel scale. I won't be weighing in every day. Not taking my iWatch charger. Not taking my SodaStream, not taking my Nespresso, not taking my weighted blanket because I have to fly to get to Kelowna to begin with. She has an extra Envy pillow, so we're going to be doing that, but it won't be refrigerated. I think we're just going to live off cheese and crackers and snacks. And
what are you going to do for coffee?
Oh, Leslie has a French press.
Oh, thank goodness.
I had Rob grind our beans to my special mixture of 2-to-1 non-caf to caffeine, and it's okay. So the beans are going to be good.
Where do you get the hot water?
There's apparently potable water there, and then you heat it up. It's going to be more than 30 seconds, though, Lisa. There's going to be a wait for coffee.
And Rob won't be floating in to bring it to you on a lovely little cup and saucer.
And a tray. Yeah.
Oh, tray, of course. Yes.
Right. So I'm going to be taking some nice Pampers wipes because the showers are cold. Ball caps, bug spray.
Do you need bear spray?
Not that I know of.
Okay. If there are a bunch of yurts and it's pretty popular.
Yeah. Well, no, there's only the one yurt. The rest are all little tent sites. And a few RVs.
Oh, well, then you don't have to worry about that, probably. I certainly don't want to put that in your head.
No, I'm not worried about bears. Oh, my God. Go for the young stuff. We're jerky at this point. Forget about it. Honestly.
Sinewy and chewy.
Exactly. So that's what I'm doing this weekend. And I got to tell you, there will be stories next Thursday. I promise you that.
I cannot wait. And this shows how much you love your sister. I think this is fantastic that you're doing this. And the two of you will have an adventure you're never going to forget.
That's right. And we're taking along books to read. We're taking along the Let Them Theory, which she just ordered and got. So that's great. We'll be talking about that.
Awesome.
And I've downloaded some stuff for my iPad for as long as it works. Mm-hmm. And none of it is mass murder, but there is someone who falls off a cruise ship. And Leslie's going on a cruise in September. But yeah, there's nobody murdered in the woods in the stuff. It's not Dexter. Not this time.
Oh, thank goodness.
While we're talking about things to watch, we will get to our twit. Our This Week in Totally Stupid is a TV personality, but I can't help but mention right now, we got a wonderful email from Kim, who actually sent this, Lisa, to Michael Bentley at Sierra Sil, and he sent it to us. He was so thrilled with this, and of course, when you hear about a product on Gracefully and Frankly, whether it's Envy Pillow or Sierra Sil, do let them know, because it tells them that their money's well spent. And Kim wrote, I actually used Sierra Sil before quite a few years ago when I heard about it from Aaron on the radio. It helped me with joint issues I was having then. But I've now ordered the Leaps and Bounds Chews for Dogs because Aaron and Lisa talked about them in Gracefully and Frankly. Hopefully they'll help my daughter's older dog be able to get around a little easier. That means the world to us because your pets can't speak, but you and your daughter will see a difference. And you have our word on Sierra Sil and all their products.
Check them out at sierrasil.com, Sierra like the mountains, SIL.com. Use your code GF for 14% off your purchase.
You know, Lisa, you were almost nominated for this week's edition of Twits because, and we're not doing the kazoo yet because it's not official, because of something that happened with our website. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so, we have the coffee mugs now, and we are linked to another website that fulfills those orders for us. And I thought I was bringing in some products. It's a long story, but I didn't realize that bringing in the products from Gracefully and Frankly.com brought them to this other website. And when I deleted them off the website, when I realized I didn't need them, I deleted them for good.
Oops.
And this is something like, you got to know your limit, Lisa. You got to know where the ceiling is and when you should get some help. So I had about 45 anxious minutes before it was all restored by our host. But, oh my goodness, I could not believe it. The whole boutique was gone, just gone, vanished.
But it's back now. And what's on it again? We've got the mugs that say Gracefully and Frankly, Queenager.
They do. And we have the new T-shirts that say,
Too Tired to Be Wired, Queenager.
Right, with a coffee mug on them. And we have the Queenager T-shirts, and we have a whole bunch of other stuff. Just got an order for some pendants and earrings moments before we started here, and a bunch of things to check out.
Excellent. Yeah, just go to gracefullyandfrankly.com, same place you click on to leave us a voicemail. We can't wait to hear what you have to say in next week's show. And, of course, I'll be sharing a lot about my whole camping experience.
Cannot wait.
Oh, my goodness. And Colin is in a baseball tournament this weekend in Ottawa. It's a national tournament, and he's in it, and I'm going to be dying to know the results. So don't be surprised if I hop in our rental car, because I needed a bigger one to get us to and from the campsite to find out the scores and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It's time for this week's edition of Twits.
This week in Totally Stupid is Twits.
Yeah, Jay Leno.
Jay.
Some have called him the luckiest man in showbiz, but he's just, he's an everyman and he makes what he does look easy, but never had the charm of Carson or the intelligence of Jon Stewart or the wit of Conan O'Brien or the quirkiness of Letterman. And yet he turned all those dad jokes into a 20-year career, and it's better than we did.
And he was always known as kind of being a middle-of-the-road guy, never took any risks, never did anything spectacular, just hung in there.
So before Stephen Colbert was let go, Jay sat down in the Ronald Reagan Library Museum in California, and here's a little clip of what he had to say about comedians late night not ticking off their viewers.
Why shoot for just half an audience all the time? Why not try to get the whole... I mean, I like to bring people into the big picture. I don't understand why you would alienate one particular group, or just don't do it at all. I'm not saying you have to throw your support or whatever. Just do what's funny.
Okay, that's great if you want to sit on the fence and have a splinter in your pants, but it's not how things work anymore. In fact, you get an audience by attracting people who are like you.
Yeah. It used to be you wouldn't, for anything, risk alienating a viewer, or in our case, a listener. And I don't think that kind of late-night satire and stuff that we're seeing would ever fly on the radio unless you were on a News Talk 1010 or something where you are aiming strictly at a right-wing audience. But, Jay, he should have learned from Seinfeld to just stay quiet about things that aren't relevant anymore.
Yeah, he sounds like an old man yelling at clouds now.
He does. To his credit, Jay Leno managed to tick off the right wing and the left wing. He says he would get hate letters from both sides, but he did dine on the Monica Lewinsky, Bill Clinton era for about 5 years. Of those kind of jokes every single night. So he isn't one to talk.
You know who should ride the middle of the road is the news department.
Yes. Yes.
Right? You want your news to be factual and not have any bias.
Yeah.
But when it comes to somebody you're going to for entertainment or infotainment or whatever you want to call it, we want some sauce on that.
Yeah. Do we give sauce, Lisa, or do we try not to give sauce? What are we?
I don't know. It's pretty clear what we are. I just think we try not to just go where everybody else has gone before and go on and on about it.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's
Yeah.
kind of how I see us, is that, if you want political news or some sort of leaning, there's plenty of places to get that.
That's right.
We do something else.
That's right.
I don't know what we do, but we do something else.
Half the time, yeah, we don't. Just as long as you enjoy it, and we're so glad you do. And we hope you have a great long weekend called, now I could quiz you on this, but it's late in the show, Terry Fox Day in Manitoba, because he was born in Winnipeg. There's New Brunswick Day, Saskatchewan Day. Alberta calls it Heritage Day.
I call it the Stivic holiday after Meathead from
Like
All in the
Stivic.
Family. Yeah.
Toronto calls it Simcoe Day. Ottawa calls it Colonel By Day. That's when they should have their Pride Parade, is on By Day. But anyway, no. Nova Scotia, Natal Day. And here in British Columbia, it's British Columbia Day, or the day that Aaron emerged from the wilderness, badly needing a warm shower.
You've got to take pictorial evidence.
Oh, honey, I will. But I am
good.
taking my mascara. I mean, I'm not completely crazy.
That's right. Well, you can only go so far.
Well, you have a great time this weekend, whatever you're doing. And Lisa, thanks for joining me. I know you'll be with me in spirit as I'm, air quotes, roughing it, glamping.
I don't know about peeing in a cup. Honestly, Aaron, it scares the heck out of me. But you go, girl.
You know what I thought of? I thought of those people on the poop cruise, also on Netflix, who took Imodium just as fast as they knew the toilets weren't working. Should I do
Right.
that for the long weekend? So I don't have to go in a biffy?
I would have gone in the red bag. See? So I don't know. I just don't know.
Okay.
To each their own.
Yeah, all right.
Bye.
Bye.